We used to do anything to be liked, but it was by the person in front of you. Now it's to be liked by 16 million people that you don't know.
Art is a reflection of society, and we must strive for truth. In today's Hollywood world, you would almost think that the older generation lacks that stability or insight from their ears, but not Denzel Washington. He has proved over and over that he is a real gentleman through and through with his candid nature. Being one of the highly acclaimed American actors, film directors, and producers, Denzel Washington deserves to be recognized for his phenomenal stage presence and mesmerizing on-screen performances. He attended Fordham University, where he studied journalism, which he changed to acting upon graduation. He then attended the American Conservatory Theater in San Francisco. Denzel's career started to gain momentum in the early 1980s with his role on the TV medical drama Saint Elsewhere, where he played the brooding Dr. Philip Chandler.
What do you think about that?
I don't have to think about it. I've lived it. I've been the guy at the Oscars without my name being called.
During the late 1980s and the 1990s, Denzel received an enormous amount of critical acclaim from film classics such as Glory, which earned him his first Academy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actor, and Malcolm X, which gave him a Best Actor nomination for his portrayal of the legendary civil rights icon. His range of portrayal of anti-heroes and multidimensional antagonists alike has accorded him many awards, various nominations, and accolades. Besides his remarkable filmography, Denzel is committed to society's problems and greatly influenced the breaking of racial barriers within the entertainment industry, leaving a mark indelibly in the landscapes of Hollywood. Denzel Washington is known for his conscious decisions in selecting movie roles that fully challenge society's stereotypical roles and portray African Americans in a fully positive light. Apart from character in movies, he's deeply committed to philanthropy, freely giving to needful charities, including student scholarships and those that aid veterans. One of the main recipients of Denzel's kindness was our very own Black Panther, the late Chadwick Boseman. As Denzel Washington once proudly stated, there is no Black Panther without Denzel Washington. This not only really spoke to the level of his contribution to the film, but also how much impact he has on the entertainment industry and outside of it.
Turn it off. That's what I would say. It's hard for young people now because they're hooked. They're addicted.
Denzel Washington recently weighed in on the topic of woke culture, and he did so with little ambiguity regarding his view.
Who you wound up supporting in the election, presidential election?
None of your business.
A career spanning almost a half-century has placed Denzel in the firmament of the artistic world, for his incredible talent and character have never wavered in the face of unparalleled success. Throughout a successful career, Denzel has shown a resolve for authenticity, rivaling very few of his peers. That commitment to telling the truth seems to permeate his journeys and meanderings through complex Hollywood.
So why did he need a black director? Could a white director not have?
It's not color, it's culture.
Explain the difference, because I think we're
Steven
in a space
Spielberg
right
did Schindler's List.
What really sets Denzel apart from other professionals is that he's not afraid to address the elephant in the room. Whereas many try to avoid controversy, Denzel, time and again, has taken a stand for what he believes in, even if that means going against popular opinion. The no-nonsense approach has made him out to be intellectually strong and emotionally intelligent. There is a feeling that there is a double standard when it comes to the enforcement of law and order and judicial processes, in general, involving minority groups. In an interview on the same, Denzel's opinion was that it is necessary to effect change from our end rather than waiting for the system to kick in. By the time it does, too much damage will have been done.
Why did he need a black director? Could a white director not have?
It's not color, it's culture.
Racial discrimination, being the root cause, has burdened our lives and appears to be insensitive even to international media coverage. Even in the presence of foreign correspondents, the sensitive issue keeps on cropping up in debate after debate. Very recently, it finds a highlight in the 2016 movie Fences, an adaptation of a play directed by and starring Denzel Washington. The character of Troy Maxson, as done by Washington, is one of the most unobscured examples of this problem. Troy is a professional baseball player turned sanitation worker in Pittsburgh circa 1950, and he personifies within himself the tumultuous struggles that many African Americans went through during that time. His character remains deeply scarred by some personal, unresolved conflicts of the past and strained relationships, especially with his wife Rose, played by Viola Davis, and his son Corey. Washington puts into effect a performance to powerfully capture the many facets of Troy's personality and the very powerful effects that bitterness and pride have had upon the journey he has walked.
Steven Spielberg could direct Goodfellas. Martin Scorsese probably could have done a good job with Schindler's List, but they're cultural differences.
Recently, Denzel has spoken against the culture itself in interviews, citing how stringent it is on the young. He even expressed his concern regarding how social media impacts the minds of the youth today, adding that critical thinking remains the major tool the kids need to get through the digital era. In this age of social media, what would you say to the young people?
Turn it off. That's what I would say. It's hard for young people now because they're hooked. They're addicted. If you don't think you're addicted, and I'm talking about anyone, from the highest to the lowest, if you don't think you're addicted, then see if you can turn it off for a week. It got quiet in here, didn't it?
On the question of his view on the effect of social media on youths, Denzel commended balanced consumption and thoughtful engagement with content online. What this means is that kids should be taught to develop some level of discretion and not take everything that comes across their screen for the truth. Besides talking about entertainment, Denzel's comments extend to other broader levels of discussion related to social issues and the Hollywood industry. Denzel has been vocal in his dismay over what he perceives as the lack of idealistic representation in mainstream cinema, arguing that real change goes beyond superficial diversity measures. Sometimes, the movie industry presses for instant fame and shallow popularity at the expense of real merit. That is Denzel's belief regarding what happened in the shift of emphasis towards social media trends, where a part of the deep storytelling and character development is lacking. Denzel's message is powerful. Diversity in the field goes way beyond a physical look. Real representation requires profound insight and respect into cultures, not just taking off boxes on some racial or ethnic quota list. Coming from an icon, Denzel's words mean so much. In a way, the commitment of his voice to speak truth to power does not let one think of passing by and forgetting the permanent presence of art in society and the responsibility that goes with it. Renowned actor Denzel Washington has courted controversy with his candid views regarding the manner in which Hollywood deals with the issue of diversity. He resonates with many frustrated people who are fed up with a culture where there may be consequences for holding an opinion. The question of diversity in film is far too often an aesthetic one, not an intrinsic one. Superficial representation gets a lot of press, while authentic storytelling gets bypassed. Denzel's position is rather clear. He wants substance and authenticity when telling the stories of groups of people who have been at a disadvantage. Denzel's critic runs deeper than problems with storytelling alone. He has gone as far as to speak out against what he feels is a misdirected sense of diversity. Not only does he say this is unsuccessful, but it may also be damaging. Recently, in an interview with SiriusXM, Denzel reflected on how black people have come to be represented in film.
Because of all those people who laid the groundwork for me to be in the position I'm in, I'm going to make sure that there's hundreds of roles for the next generation and utilize the power that I have at this moment in order to do that. And nobody's going to get in my way.
His observations seem to indicate that sometimes progress isn't all positive. It can also be regressive. Denzel emphasizes that in Hollywood, real power rests not with visible figures but with the behind-the-scenes decision makers. He says that despite the proclamations made by the industry, the status quo hasn't changed. Denzel would argue that there cannot be any belief in a proper diversity drive as long as the same power brokers keep pulling at the strings. He asks pointed questions about who is actually leading these changes. To Denzel, real progress amounts to more than just making an appearance. It means the creative power and direction of storytelling. Denzel's opinions also reach the hot topic of cancellation culture. Unlike many in Hollywood, he does not jump up on the trend but remains critical. According to him, cancel culture could strangle open dialogue and personal growth. Denzel, meanwhile, has experienced incidents in his life that have shown him how the fear of backlash can muzzle voices, which is opposed to free expression and frank speech. His stance, therefore, is all about embracing diversity and differences rather than suppressing them. By speaking out against shallow diversity initiatives and canceling culture alike, Denzel Washington cuts a figure of reason in an industry attacked by social issues of many kinds. His words mean much, and they ring the timeless impact art can have in society, with the gravity of great responsibility that comes with such an effect.
There are millions of people that are falling in the gap because they don't fit in to this information age. I don't care who you are. You can promise people a whole lot, but there's a whole lot of people that are in trouble right now because they just don't fit in.
His message is clear. We need to stop being quick to cancel people who make mistakes or have different opinions. Instead of shutting people down, he believes we should be open to listening, learning, and growing together. Do you know that Hollywood has now begun to cash in on scandals and controversies as a way of posting record box office sales? Well, that's a trend Denzel Washington isn't behind. The veteran actor feels that it is supposed to uplift, yet be realistic with meaning, and not used as a way to make some profit for box office sales. Denzel isn't just talking about it, he's doing something about it. Prolific through his production company are projects that give voice to the most marginalized. He also mentors young actors and filmmakers, encouraging them to remain true to their artistic vision and cultural heritage.
I've been the guy at the Oscars when everybody thought they was going to call my name and they didn't. So I've lived it.
So what would you say to the people who are looking at this process and saying it's unfair?
Yeah, and so what?
This approach really points out Denzel's commitment to fostering authentic storytelling that resonates with audiences on a deeper level. Denzel has spoken out about his concerns regarding the changing face of Hollywood, which is now often sensationalist and scandal-seeking. That is, he thinks, no different than a greater problem he sees with woke culture in general. Controversy often outweighs any semblance of real artistic expression. Think about Fences, for example, where Denzel directed and acted to, which again was a part of quality content he stands to fight for. It is not about creating drama for the sake of drama. Denzel is passionate about telling stories that matter, making lasting impacts in society. Substantive commentary, not superficial shock value, is the message he brings to Hollywood. Denzel Washington has also talked about another growing problem in the entertainment business: the extreme polarization of politics. During an interview when asked whom Denzel would vote for, he did not say the name of his candidate explicitly, but lent support for a candidate by saying,
Who you wound up supporting in the election, presidential election?
None of your business.
He has watched the polarization of the industry where there is greater pressure on individuals to take one or another extreme point of view. Denzel staunchly believes in free speech and the rights of all individuals to their opinions, regardless of what the political environment has to say. While others in the industry feel it's their responsibility to align with one side, Denzel holds true to his values. To him, it's not about left versus right. At the end of the day, it's about what is right versus what is wrong.
Anything you practice, you'll get good at, including BS.
He has blamed Hollywood for merely hopping onto the current political bandwagon without truly understanding the depth of the issue involved. According to him, practicing what you preach and walking your talk hand in hand is important. Something what Denzel said is very brave and right on target, while others find his comment too critical. Whichever it may be, people in the industry lend a willing ear to his opinions. What is your take on this? Do you agree with what Denzel said about Hollywood's take on scandals and controversies? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe while you're at it. Click here for more videos on related topics.